viewers, it's that day. It is the launch of Train Sim World 3. This is the news. Everything you need to know. This is an extension from the article last week containing everything you need to know before Train Sim World 3 launches tomorrow. Today, for some. This will hopefully cover everything you need to know from release times to Train Sim World compatible content to rollout plans to transferring your progress between TSW2 and TSW3. Release times. We're all very excited for you to get your hands on Train Sim World 3. Thank you for everyone who's been providing us with early access feedback so far, and we've been thoroughly enjoying all your new screenshots with the new skies, lighting and weather. We expect launch times on Tuesday, September the 6th to be as follows. Note these times are subject to change based on the platform owners activating on their respective platforms. If you need to update it to your time zone, there's a link. PlayStation and Xbox, including Game Pass, 9 o'clock UTC. Epic Game Store, 1500 UTC. Steam, 1700 UTC. So for Aussies, that's later this evening at about 6 p.m. Early in the morning for Epic, later in the morning for Steam. Notes. Early access is available for Standard Edition and Deluxe Edition pre-orders until launch on the 6th, so you can jump in and play now if you purchase them. This is for the core game. Find out below the rollout for Train Sim World 2 Preserved Collection. Not known that as that anymore. It's now called Train Sim World Compatible Content. Okay, Xbox for Windows, Steam and Epic will have all Train Sim World compatible content available within 24 hours of the launch of Train Sim World 3. These may come in batches over this period depending on the platform you're on, so keep your eyes peeled and please don't worry if you see all your content available immediately. For PlayStation players, the rollout will be a little different. Sony, weren't able to release all the content on day one. So we've staggered the release into 3 weekly windows. You can find a summarized list of that plan below with a more detailed schedule on the forums. We've tried to prioritize content based on Roots getting updates tomorrow, recent releases, and Train Sim World 2 core releases. Week 1, 6th of September, Southeastern High Speed and Spirit of Steam TSW3 version and the free upgrade for TSW2 players. Just to note, those 2 routes are changing in TSW2. Train Sim World 2 core routes. Routes featured in the Preservation Collection updates from today. The core routes were Colonark, Bakerloo and Sandpatch Grade. Week 2, 13th of September, TSW2 Routes and Locos. That's everything that's come out during the TSW2 timeframe. Week 3, 20th of September, TSW 2020 Routes and Locos. So that's all the other stuff, except of course the Orphan. We won't talk about the Orphan. NEC. You'll need to manually download this content again from your store for Train Sim World 3 if you own them on Train Sim World 2. Let me just read that to you again. You need to manually download this content. Manually. You must go and find it in the store or in your library and tick it, and it will download for you. The reason for that is no one wants a 450 gig download that they have to wait hours to get and then more hours to unpack all on day one, because you want to play the core game, right? Yeah, see, kind of important. Note, Train Sim World 2 will not be available for purchase after the release of Train Sim World 3. Rest in peace, Train Sim World 2. We knew you well. You had a good story. A few bugs, but a good story. But all existing add-ons will continue to be purchasable and are compatible with both TSW2 and TSW3. Note, the only exception to this is the New Journeys expansion add-on, which will be available at a later date. Don't read into that they're going to release new content for TSW2. They're not. All right? If you want new content, you must move to 3. Note, if you own a disc edition, you're one of those weird people, of any Train Sim World game, please head here to find out how to claim your product key. If on Thursday you still aren't able to download your previously owned content on anything other than PlayStation, contact the support center. That's dovetail.freshdesk.com. Downloading the Train Sim World 3 first step of your TSW3 journey comes with downloading your game when it's available on September the 6th or the 7th for some. See the time estimates above. Please find some important information below on how your game downloaded so you can get into the fun stuff. TSW3 bundles and starter packs consist of the core game and the add-on routes, which you will need to download separately. All Train Sim World compatible content will need to be downloaded afresh for Train Sim World 3. Note, the game will be ready to start after a partial download, but you will need to complete the entire download to access all content. So that means each of the new routes for TSW3, you must download them. So Training Center comes with it, so you can start kicking around in Training Center as soon as you get it, but you'll need to download Southeastern High Speed, Castle Wurzburg, Cajon Pass if you've bought them. There are download instructions, and I will copy those links into the description. This is the bit you're waiting for, isn't it? Preservation Crew updates. This is the last one because they're not called the Preservation Crew anymore. They've got a new name. The final batch of Preservation Crew updates will hit with release and feature a lot of updates for a lot of different routes. We expect this to go live on all platforms within 24 hours of launch. There's a caveat to that. With the launch on September the 6th, we can confirm that remaining improvements will be going into game, including the new Bakerloo timetable, 600 services, Peninsula Corridor Preservation Crew update, huge, Rhine Ruhr Austin Preservation Crew update, medium, Oakville Subdivision Preservation Crew update, huge, Cathcart Preservation Crew update, tiny, Long Island Railroad Preservation Crew update, small, LGV Preservation Crew update, tiny, 2 new Luzerne Cersei scenarios, Hamburg Lübeck updated timetable, 220 total services if you own Cole and Aachen, ICE 3M, the DBBR 101 and the DBBR 363. You also need the G6. Just saying. Actually, you probably don't need the G6, and I think you can run the other one. What is it, the 424? I think you can run those as well, and they sub in for the 363. The Skyhook DBBR187 update. This has had a lot of love, folks. I was involved in the beta testing for that. It's had some professional German train players, drivers, real drivers, having a crack at it. It's good now. Everything works. AFB, LZB, PZB, CFAR. It sounds good, moves good, works well. And based on your feedback over the weekend, some known issues have been fixed within Train Sim World 3. PlayStation, Xbox, motion blur toggle should be available in settings. On Cajon Pass, the ES44 AC introduction should no longer default to engine run off. That'd be a bit exciting. Functioning level crossings implemented across Cajon Pass. No more running over school buses. Whoa. There will also be some small improvements to Spirit of Steam, including fireman visibility. Mineral wagons will now have the correct formations, livery designer substitution functionality for Gen 9 platforms, and completion of the Time for Scouse scenario. We'll provide the full list. It's a long one for all the updates tomorrow. Some of these updates will also come to Train Sim World 2 players after the launch of Train Sim World 3, as they require testing within Train Sim World 2. So remember that, TSW2 players who aren't upgrading do not get access to this content right now because it has to be tested. That could be soon, or it could be not soon, depending on how the testing goes. All right? Just remember, you didn't upgrade, you don't get new stuff. You get new stuff later. As with all our updates, these will be rolled out subject to platform partners' approval pipelines, so we're not able to provide exact times when these will be available. Progress transfer. There's a big article on that. I did a video on it a little while ago, and there's a tutorial. Yesterday we released an article confirming progress transfer between your Train Sim World 2 and Train Sim World 3 profiles can be transferred on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam from early access. Check out the full details and how to do it here. There's a link. Please ensure that your TSW3 profile name is different to your TSW2 profile name, otherwise it will not show up in game to import. If you do create a profile with the same name, don't worry, just delete the TSW3 profile and the TSW2 version should appear upon rebooting the game. There you go. Make sure you import your profile the first time or you will not get your scenarios and liveries. 8th Gen and 9th Gen platforms. We've had a lot of questions about the differences in experience between 9th Gen PC, PS5, Xbox Series XS and 8th Gen PS4, Xbox One platforms. We've been testing across all these platforms across the duration of Train Sim World 3's development in order to work out how to provide the best experience to players. There will be some slight differences between your experiences due to the power and possibilities with the respective technology, but if you've been playing Train Sim World 2, these will be familiar to you already. These are summarised below. Train length will be limited to 100 wagons on 9th gen and 50 wagons on 8th gen. Yes, there is the inference that PCs get longer. They do. Services and players. Southeastern High Speed Extended, same number of playable and AI services. Cahoon Pass, same number of playable services with shorter formations on 8th gen. Castle Wurzburg, same number of playable and AI services. 9th gen players will experience better graphical performance. 9th gen players will have better game performance. Both 8th and 9th gen we are happy with the performance for, though. I've had a good chat with a PS4 8th gen player, and he says while there are some frame rate hits in places, it's very playable and very performant. So he's very happy, and he's quite pleased with how it's ended up. We will monitor your feedback over the early access window and make amendments if needed to ensure the best experience for you all. There is a known issues list, and they've fixed a bunch of stuff, but there is still some things. In the LZB introduction, the train is unable to move due to throttle interlock. All you need to do is brake on, throttle back to off, brake off, throttle up again, and it'll work fine. That's how the ICE trains used to work with LZB. That was changed for TSW3, and for whatever reason, this scenario uses the old way. Because now when you stop on LZB for a signal, when the signal goes green, LZB will kick you off and start you running. BR185.2, pressing circle square button on the controller does not operate the CFAR. Add-ons missing in Xbox Game Pass for PC menu. Class 66 graphical issue on the undercarriage of the loco and no rain effects on the windows. That must be for some platforms, because I get rain on the windows. But anyway, the Class 375 loco is missing deceleration sound effects and the bell doesn't ring. I got those things. Are we looking for a particular platform? No. It says everything. Anyway. PS5, trained and ready, and Class 465, training trophies not unlocking. Steam, upon closing the game, an Unreal Engine crash log message appears. Yeah, it's right as you exit. It's not a big deal. Preserved collection, Train Sim World compatible content, Xbox Series X, Rhine, Ruhr, Austin, the controls for camera viewing display, keyboard bindings rather than Xbox relevant controls. Xbox Series X, Rhine, Ruhr, Austin, the controls for returning to interior camera view displays are classic controller bindings rather than the immersion controls. Route introductions. The LGV route introduction doesn't show the right signal icons in the top right when teaching signals. Munich Augsburg and Hamburg Lübeck tutorials have 3 red triangles for signal aspects instead of the correct icons. Yeah, it's the old way of doing it. On Munich Augsburg and Hamburg Lübeck route introduction, the doors aren't closed, preventing the train from moving. You just close them, it's not that hard. West Cornwall local route introduction cannot currently be completed. Don't think it ever could. In rapid transit scenario, City Express, Dostos are incorrectly hooked up to LZB monitoring. That would be funny. Automatic Dostos. During Peninsula Corridor introduction, player cannot sit on any seat on the bottom floor of the locomotive and complete the find a seat objective. I assume they mean the cab car. Not really a locomotive. I'm a pedant. In the loco selection for timetable for Peninsula Corridor, after selecting the bi-level cab car, the loco is missing when selecting the livery. Some services are also not showing. If you experience any other issues, please let us know by submitting a bug report with the more detail the better. So the platform you're on, your build, which you can find under settings, what you expect it to do, what it did do, those kinds of things are really handy, and a set of steps to reproduce it. Anything else is useless. Links to videos that you upload are good too. Useful videos. Whilst the training center will include all manner of useful tutorials as well as there being route-specific tutorials, we've asked some of our favourite creators, to produce some too. Here's that list, full of all manner of things, with everything from operating LZB to recovering from an emergency stop to operating US heavy freight locomotives. Give them a watch and subscribe to your favourites. Please do. I will come back to that page in a tick. We can't wait for you to play Train Sim World 3, so make sure you're letting us know your thoughts on the forums and socials on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok Train Sim World 3, Standard Edition and Deluxe Edition are available now. We don't need to read the rest of that. It's all good. Okay, now the training stuff. This flips over to a YouTube playlist, and you'll find a few purple ones from me. Just a few hours in that. But anyway, there's a bunch from Megasim and British Ace and Golden Ticket and AF Gamer and some guy named Train Simulator Driver. I don't know who that is. Top Funny Moments, Train Sim Play, and the British Ace. So dive in, folks. Have a look at the videos of the creators who are playing the game and enjoy. Lots of fun stuff there. Alrighty, that has been the news. As usual, I read this for people who need it for accessibility reasons, or people who don't want to go look at the forums, or people that maybe just want to listen to it instead of reading it because that's easier for them. Maybe you're listening in the car or on the train right now. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please subscribe if you haven't. And, other news. I'm kicking off the launch day streams tonight. So at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is 10 a.m. British Standard Time, I'm kicking off the official stream. So, yes, I'm going to do something in the southeast. And I'm going to go from there to there. And you can do it twice. But I'm going to do it once. Clues. Choose wisely. Bye now.